Most people call themselves strong until life hits harder than they expected. True strength isn't in fighting back, it's in standing, unshaken, calm, and in control when everything around you is falling apart. That's where the final stage begins. True emotional strength is revealed not in how you fight, but in how you remain unshaken when everything around you falls apart. Most people confuse strength with aggression, with loud declarations, with the ability to push back, to strike first, to defend themselves at every perceived threat. They measure strength by volume, by resistance, by the energy they expend in proving they are unbreakable. But that is the first illusion, a shadow of real power. True strength is quiet. It is not measured by how much noise you make, how many battles you win, or how many people acknowledge your courage. True strength is measured by the silence you can hold in the storm, the calm you maintain when the world seems determined to unravel you, the stillness in your soul when chaos screams around you. Imagine a hurricane, and in the center of that hurricane is a tree. The tree does not fight the wind. It does not try to push it back. It does not rage against the storm. It roots itself deeply, bends when necessary, and yet does not break. That is what emotional strength looks like. That is what it feels like to be unshaken. It is the realization that the world will never give you guarantees, that people will never always act fairly, that circumstances will sometimes crush you, but you will endure because your foundation is unmovable. It is forged not by avoidance of struggle, but by walking through struggle and choosing to remain composed, to remain human, to remain in command of yourself no matter the outcome of the battles around you. People will challenge you, often without reason. They will provoke, they will criticize, they will misunderstand, and they will attack, both subtly and openly. Many will confuse their reactions to you for the measure of your strength. They will believe that if they can make you flinch, if they can spark a moment of fear or anger, they have defeated you. But emotional strength exists precisely in the space where their tactics no longer work. It is in the ability to watch, to observe, and to respond only when it serves you purpose, rather than reacting because of impulse or ego. Every reaction you do not give, every word you do not say in anger, every movement you hold back when others expect, this is a demonstration of power that is far greater than any fight. Strength also reveals itself in patience. The impatient are easily shaken. They push, they rush, they demand outcomes that align with their expectations, and when the world refuses, they crumble. But the truly strong do not need immediate validation. They do not need every injustice corrected at once, every slight responded to, every insult countered. They understand timing. They understand that true influence comes not from reaction, but from observation, strategy, and presence. They understand that being unshaken is not passive. It is an active choice to maintain clarity when others are blinded by emotion, to preserve energy when others expend theirs in chaos, to remain composed when the majority would panic. Consider the moments in life that test you the most: the betrayals, the sudden losses, the moments when you are left alone and must face fear and grief without support. Most people fight against these moments, trying to control what they cannot, resisting what must be endured, reacting to every detail with a sense of urgency and desperation. They expend their strength on the wrong targets, draining themselves in ways that leave them weaker than before. The truly strong, however, stand apart. They accept reality as it is, not as they wish it to be. They acknowledge the pain, the confusion, the uncertainty, and they place themselves above it, not by ignoring it, but by refusing to be consumed by it. Their strength is a shield forged from the ability to remain calm when the storm is relentless, from the capacity to act when necessary and to wait when action would be wasted, from the discipline to maintain equilibrium when everything around them is tipping into disorder. Unshaken strength is also built on self-awareness. To remain calm, you must know yourself better than anyone else does. You must recognize your triggers, understand your weaknesses, and have the foresight to anticipate how external events might challenge you. This level of self-mastery does not come overnight. It is cultivated through reflection, through discipline, through repeated practice in moments where most would give in to impulse. When you are aware of your internal state, You no longer allow circumstances to dictate your mood or reactions. You are no longer a passenger in your own life. You are the captain, and your ship sails steadily, regardless of the waves or storms. Another critical aspect of remaining unshaken is detachment. Not indifference, but detachment is separation between your sense of self and the external pressures that seek to destabilize you. Detachment allows you to engage without losing control, to respond without reacting, to act without being manipulated by emotion. It allows you to see clearly, to prioritize, to conserve your energy for what truly matters, and to ignore what does not. This does not make you cold, it makes you formidable. It is the difference between being tossed around by life and standing firmly, rooted, unmovable. Detachment is the armor that preserves your strength while the world tests it relentlessly. True strength is also deeply linked to empathy. Ironically, the ability to remain unshaken often comes with the capacity to understand others without being controlled by them. The strong are able to witness anger, manipulation, criticism, and even betrayal, and they do not mirror it. They do not adopt the chaos into themselves. Instead, they see it for what it is, a reflection of the other person's struggle, not a verdict on their own worth. They maintain compassion without compromise, observation without obsession, calm without passivity. The ability to remain steady while the world spins wildly around you is inseparable from this understanding of human nature. Finally, true emotional strength manifests in consistency. A person may be strong for a moment, but only the unshaken remain strong over time. It is not a series of heroic responses in crises that defines this stage. It is the quiet constancy, the repeated ability to withstand pressure, to endure insult, to resist provocation, and to maintain integrity even when recognition or reward is absent. Strength that is loud is temporary. Strength that is quiet, composed, and unshaken is eternal. It radiates even when unnoticed because it exists independently of circumstance, independently of audience, independently of approval. Every time you resist the urge to react in anger, every time you take a breath instead of lashing out, every time you hold your position when the world expects you to crumble, you prove to yourself that strength is not what happens around you. It is what happens inside you. You begin to understand that storms are inevitable, chaos is unavoidable, and conflict is certain. But the measure of your life is no longer dictated by these forces. Your calm becomes your signature, your discipline, your weapon, and your awareness, your fortress. You realize that the true battlefield is internal, and victory is measured by the ability to remain unshaken, not by the victories you achieve externally. The final stage of strength is mastering yourself, your thoughts, your reactions, and your peace, so that no external force can ever disturb your inner world. Most people live their lives at the mercy of circumstance, reacting to events as though they were storms that sweep through without warning, without control. They let anger dictate decisions, fear dictate action, and disappointment dictate their sense of self. But mastery is different. Mastery is different realization that the only real power you possess is over yourself, and that everything else, every insult, every setback, every chaos is secondary. True strength is born in this understanding. It begins when you stop trying to control what is outside and start controlling what is inside. To master yourself, you must first confront your mind. Thoughts are subtle tyrants. They can manipulate your perception, distort reality, and amplify your emotions without you even noticing. Most people allow thoughts to run unchecked, letting them dictate behavior, mood, and reactions. They react to ideas, fears, and doubts as if they were external attacks. But the truly strong recognize that the mind is both weapon and battlefield. Mastery begins with awareness, noticing the thoughts that arise, questioning their validity, and choosing which to act upon. It is a discipline, a deliberate exercise in self-command. Over time, this awareness becomes automatic. You stop being a prisoner of your thoughts and instead become the architect of your mental landscape, shaping it intentionally and refusing entry to anything that destabilizes your calm. Next, mastery requires control over your emotions. Emotional reactions are powerful and deceptive. They can energize, but they can also consume, mislead, and destroy. Most people mistake expression for strength, believing that a fiery response proves their courage or their resolve. They are wrong. True emotional mastery is not about suppression, it is about regulation. It is the ability to feel deeply, to experience fully, and yet remain anchored. It is the capacity to let anger exist without letting it dictate your actions, to feel fear without succumbing to it, to acknowledge hurt without allowing it to poison your decisions. The strongest individuals are not those who never feel. They are those who feel without losing themselves, who process without reacting destructively, and who can move through the world with both intensity and composure. Peace is the crown of mastery. It is not the absence of challenges or conflict. Peace is the internal sanctuary that cannot be shaken by noise, criticism, or turmoil. Most people mistake peace for comfort, thinking it is only possible when circumstances align perfectly. But the final stage of strength is learning to cultivate peace amidst imperfection, to create a stable core in a world designed to unsettle you. This peace is born from trust in yourself, from confidence in your ability to navigate life's unpredictability, and from a profound understanding that nothing external has the power to define your value unless you allow it. Once peace is established, reactions are measured, decisions are deliberate, and energy is conserved for what truly matters rather than wasted on distractions and conflicts. Self-mastery also demands discipline. Discipline is not punishment, it is structure. It is the ability to say no to impulses, to prioritize long-term stability over immediate gratification, and to act in accordance with principles rather than passions. Without discipline, mastery is impossible. Thoughts go unchecked, emotions spiral, and peace becomes a fleeting dream. Discipline allows you to act from a position of strength, to navigate challenges without being swept away by them, and to maintain consistency in behavior and integrity in action. It is the bridge between intention and execution, between awareness and transformation, and between potential and realization. Another critical element of self-mastery is detachment from outcomes. Many people measure success, happiness, and worth by external validation, by recognition, reward, or approval. But the truly strong understand that these things are temporary, unpredictable, and ultimately outside of their control. They detach from expectation, embracing action without obsession over results. This does not make them passive or indifferent, it makes them unshakable. They invest in effort and intention, not in the reactions of others. They derive satisfaction from alignment with their values, not from fleeting applause. Detachment preserves inner stability, allowing focus and energy to be directed where it matters most, rather than squandered on what cannot be influenced. Mastery also requires reflection. The strongest individuals are introspective, constantly evaluating their reactions, decisions, and emotional patterns. They ask themselves uncomfortable questions, challenge their own biases, and seek growth even when it is inconvenient. Reflection is not self-criticism, it is self-calibration. It ensures that emotional responses remain in alignment with values, that decisions are intentional rather than impulsive, and that progress continues even when the world feels chaotic. Over time, reflection creates clarity, a lens through which life can be observed objectively and through which control over self becomes instinctual rather than forced. The power of mastering yourself is evident in interactions with the world. When others are enraged, manipulative, or unpredictable, the mastered individual remains composed. They listen without judgment, respond without aggression, and act without ego. They do not mirror the chaos they witness. They rise above it. Their presence alone becomes stabilizing. They become the calm in the storm, the center that others gravitate toward, and the unmovable force that no external pressure can sway. Mastery transforms not only the individual but the environment around them, creating influence without domination, authority without conflict, and respect without demand. Finally, mastery is liberation. To master yourself is to be free from the chains of fear, insecurity, and reaction. It is to act with purpose rather than instinct, to navigate life with clarity rather than confusion, and to hold inner peace in all circumstances. Few ever reach this stage because it requires relentless self-awareness, discipline, and courage. most settle for temporary victories, emotional reactions, and external measures of strength. But those who commit to mastery step into a life where external turbulence may exist, but internal chaos cannot. They move through the world with precision, serenity, and power, untouched by the storms that overwhelm the untrained. Self-mastery is not a destination. It is a continuous practice. It requires constant vigilance, repeated reflection, and unwavering commitment to personal principles. The stronger you become, the more subtle and refined your control, the deeper your peace, and the more profound your influence. It is not loud, flashy, or recognized by crowds. It is quiet, relentless, and transformative. And it is the final stage of emotional strength, where nothing external can shake your resolve, your composure, or your sense of self, because you have become the ultimate authority over the most important territory in your life, your own mind, and your own heart.